The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a crimson glow over the small village of San Pedro. Nestled deep in the hills of Puerto Rico, this village had known peace for generations, until now. Livestock was found drained of blood, strange claw marks decorated barns, and whispers of an ominous creature spread like wildfire. The elders called it El Chupacabra. Fear gripped the hearts of the villagers. At night, they locked their doors and kept their children inside. The rhythmic chirping of crickets was now overshadowed by the occasional rustling in the bushes, the unshakable feeling of being watched. The once lively marketplace had become somber. Conversations whispered with a hint of dread. Nobody knew when the next attack would come. 12-year-old Miguel, a curious and brave boy, had heard the stories but never believed them. That was until his uncle, Hector, found their family's prize goat lifeless, puncture wounds on its neck. "It's happening again," Hector murmured, gripping his rosary. Miguel felt a chill run down his spine. That night, Miguel lay awake in bed, listening to the silence. The village had never felt so eerily still. His window was slightly ajar, letting in the cool night breeze. Then, he heard it, a low growl, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. He sat up, heart pounding. Was it just his imagination, or was something truly lurking outside? Word of the mysterious killings reached beyond San Pedro. 2 men from the city arrived, claiming they could track and kill the Chupacabra. They carried rifles and silver bullets, confident in their skills. "This is no ordinary animal," one of them warned. "If it bleeds, we can kill it." Miguel watched the hunters from a distance, intrigued but also wary. They walked with arrogance, dismissing the fears of the villagers as mere superstition. But Miguel saw through their bravado. There was fear in their eyes. Perhaps they knew more than they were letting on. That night, Miguel couldn't sleep. Shadows danced outside his window, and an eerie screech pierced the silence. His mother held him close, whispering prayers. Outside, the hunters stood vigilant, weapons aimed. Then, a scream. They rushed toward the sound but found nothing, only the faint scent of sulfur lingering in the air. The villagers gathered, clutching lanterns and whispering among themselves. The hunters inspected the area, finding deep claw marks in the dirt and a trail leading into the forest. "Whatever it is, it's playing with us," one of them muttered. Miguel shuddered at the thought. In the morning, a visiting journalist named Elena arrived. Unlike the hunters, she sought to understand the creature, not destroy it. "What if the Chupacabra isn't just a monster?" she asked. "What if it's something more?" The villagers dismissed her words, but Miguel listened. Elena showed Miguel old newspaper clippings about similar incidents across different countries. The descriptions varied slightly, but the pattern was the same: livestock drained of blood, eerie sightings, and lingering sulfuric smells. "This isn't just a legend," she said. "There's truth behind it." Miguel's best friend, Javier, vanished. The entire village searched for him, but only found his torn shoe near the edge of the forest. He wouldn't have wandered off alone, Miguel insisted. Desperation grew, and the villagers feared the worst. Miguel refused to sit idly by. He retraced Javer's usual paths, hoping for a clue. Near the forest's edge, he noticed something strange: deep imprints in the dirt, almost like footprints but elongated and clawed. A shiver ran down his spine. Determined to find Javier, Miguel and Elena investigated. They followed faint tracks leading deep into the jungle, where they discovered an old cave. "This has to be it," Elena whispered. "But are we ready to face what's inside?" Miguel swallowed his fear and stepped forward. The cave was damp and smelled of earth and decay. Strange symbols were etched into the walls, and bones littered the ground. "Javier," Miguel called out. A rustling sound came from deeper inside. Inside the cave, they found Javier, alive but terrified. "It didn't hurt me," he whispered. "It's sad." Miguel turned and saw the glowing eyes in the darkness. The Chupacabra, but instead of attacking, it whimpered, wounded and weak. Elena knelt beside the creature, studying it. Its body was frail, its ribs visible beneath its scaly skin. It wasn't the predator they had imagined. It was suffering. "It's starving," she realized. "It's been forced to hunt like this." Just as Miguel and Elena began to understand the creature, the hunters stormed in. "Step aside, Woy," one shouted, aiming his rifle. Miguel stood his ground. "It's not a monster," he cried, but they wouldn't listen. The Chupacabra let out a pained whimper, curling up as if bracing for the inevitable. Miguel saw the fear in its eyes. It wasn't evil, it was afraid. "You don't have to do this," he pleaded with the hunters. But the man's finger tightened on the trigger. Elena quickly explained what she had suspected. The Chupacabra wasn't evil. It was suffering. Its land had been destroyed. Its food scarce. "We need to help it, not kill it," Miguel pleaded. The hunters hesitated. Then, the Chupacabra did something unexpected. It nudged Javier gently, as if urging him forward. Javier wiped his tears and whispered, "It saved me." The hunters exchanged uneasy glances. Perhaps, for the first time, they saw the creature for what it truly was, not a predator, but a survivor. Miguel stood firm. "We can find another way." Slowly, one of the hunters lowered his rifle. "Maybe the boy's right," he murmured, but the other hunter still held his weapon steady. "And what if it attacks again? Then we'll be ready," Miguel said, "but not with guns, with understanding." A tense silence followed, broken only when the Chupacabra let out a soft, resigned sigh. It no longer had the strength to fight. It only wanted to live. And for the first time in San Pedro's history, a different choice was made. A rustling sound echoed through the cave, and a second Chupacabra emerged, smaller, frailer, a baby. The first creature nudged it forward, its eyes filled with desperation. It was a mother protecting her child. Seeing the mother and child, one hunter lowered his weapon. "Maybe they're right," he muttered, but the other was unmoved. "They're dangerous. We must end this," he insisted. Miguel had to act fast. Miguel, with all his courage, stepped between the creatures and the hunters. "If you kill them, you kill a family." His voice echoed through the cave. The reluctant hunter finally lowered his gun. "Let them go." With the village divided, Elena proposed a plan. Relocate the Chupacabra family to a safer area, far from human settlements. Some villagers objected, but Miguel's bravery had swayed many. With the help of the villagers, Miguel and Elena led the creatures through hidden paths. The Chupacabras, though wary, seemed to understand. The journey was long, but Miguel was determined. After days of travel, they reached a secluded valley untouched by humans. "They'll be safe here," Elena assured Miguel. The Chupacabras lingered for a moment before disappearing into the trees. Miguel felt both sadness and relief. Back in San Pedro, things slowly returned to normal. The fear faded, and the legend of the Chupacabra took on a new meaning, one of understanding rather than terror. Miguel felt proud of what they had done. Years passed, and Miguel grew up, becoming a biologist. He dedicated his life to studying misunderstood creatures. The legend of the Chupacabra lived on, but now as a tale of compassion, not horror. One day, Miguel returned to the valley. He saw no sign of the Chupacabras, but deep in the trees, he swore he saw glowing eyes watching over him. He smiled. They were safe. San Pedro never forgot what happened. The story was passed down through generations, not of monsters, but of courage, family, and the boy who chose to see the truth. And somewhere, in the depths of the forest, the Chupacabras lived on, free and unafraid. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, please give a like and subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss any update from us. Share this story with your friends.